Well, you've just heard from Kieran. She has told you what exactly the balanced diet is and the importance of protein. You know, aging comes along with weight control challenges, and a lot of people begin to lose muscle mass to age. And what is really going to help you in terms of stopping you to lose muscle mass to age? That's where the protein comes in. The body has to be a protein base. That's why she said 70% of the meal you're going to consume should be able to be protein, and that's exactly why, to some extent, I wonder if he guess how old I am, but we don't need to talk that right now. We have our professional life as our guest that is going to give us more education on what I'm going to do to help myself look more better than the way I'm looking. You can imagine Kira is looking awesome because she has actually maintained a better diet plan and a more better nutritional plan for herself. But my next question to Kira right now is, is something that everybody keep bothering themselves about, and that is the portion control. There is a lot of misconception about portion control, and my question is, what exactly is portion control, and how do we go about that? Some will tell you portion control is this, but it's important we hear from the professional what exactly portion control is. And my question right now is, why is portion control crucial for seniors? And how can they manage their food intake to prevent overeating or undereating while maintaining proper nutrition? Well, you've just heard from her, and that's one of the basic information that has always been a problem understanding portion control, especially for the old. And this has always been a problem. But I think she has actually simplified the whole thing. And for me, I am very, very satisfied from what I've had. Now we talk about digestive health. This is another very important area that needs some crucial and very, very necessary attention, because you see a lot of many older adults experience slower digestion. Some have appetite loss. Then some, what dietary adjustments, what dietary adjustments or meal planning strategies can actually help improve digestion and nutrient absorption at this point in time? Well, you've just heard from her. We just need to quickly go for a brief commercial, and when we're back, definitely we'll be talking more. Though we don't really have the time again, but it's, I'm already lost in what Kiran is saying, and for me to let her go is like a problem. But nevertheless, we just have just very few minutes, but we need to go for a brief commercial, and we'll be right back later. Well, you've just heard from Kiran. She has explained to us what exactly why we need the stronger bones and the importance of these bones for us to be able to avert issues like osteoporosis and sarcopenia from us. And she has actually explained all of that. But it's unfortunate that we can't go further than this. And I really want to plead with Kiran Van on behalf of my listeners. I know everybody's craving for this to continue, but it's unfortunate that this is the time we need to call it a wrap. And my plea to Kiran is, please, we'll just really want you back again so that we'll be able to have you in full, because we still have about 5 questions that you need to answer, and they are very, very important, very, very necessary for us to be able to answer that to our listeners. And at this point in time, we need to say goodbye to all our listeners. But before we say goodbye to all our listeners, it's important we get the social media handle of Kiran and also get her contact, because quite a lot of people want to contact her directly. So Kiran, can you share your social media handles and your phone number to us, please? Where for all the sports lovers, you've just had it, and this is where we need to make sure we get our issues, more properly handled. But to all my listeners, it's important I say goodbye to all of you. You're the reason why we're doing all of this. And to the ones that are pressing the right button, just keep doing this as I say goodbye to everybody, and we'll just call it a wrap. Thank you very much.